Hello students, I am back and this time I have come with something for you for which you have been waiting for long. I have got quite a few requests to explain one of the most difficult chapters, Chief Seattle's speech. So here I am. Actually, it's not so difficult. I tell you one secret, for the first time when I had taught it, I didn't find it so interesting. But when I read it a number of times, I could understand the feelings of that man, Chief Seattle, how he must be feeling. It's indeed quite sad. Suppose someone comes to you and wants to take your house, like the promoters of today. What do? They come, they offer you a price and they want to take your home from you and they give you a flat to live in their building, but that land does not belong to you anymore. You are like the others sharing that property. You don't remain the sole owner of that. Well, some people, they gladly accept, but not all. This is what has happened here. The Red Indians, they are the Native Americans. The land belonged to them. And Christopher Columbus, when he came, found this place, he thought these are Indians because he was in quest of India. And so he called them the Red Indians. So they are the Native Americans. The land belonged to them. And the white people, the Britishers with their imperialistic policies, they tried to put up colonies everywhere. India also was under their clutches, and so for so many countries. So Chief Seattle has been sent a proposal by the governor, and he is a representative of the big chief in Washington, that is George Washington. So what is the proposal about? The proposal is that we want to buy your land. You accept it? We will give you, you don't need to leave the land and go away. We will give you a place where you will remain. That means the movements of these natives are being restricted. You can't roam here and there. Actually, when the white people came and settled, so there was hostilities. They fought against each other. But after this, they decided to come to a peaceful agreement. But it was in a way encroaching, taking their land from them, the land which belonged to them by right, by birth. So Chief Seattle was a very promising leader of his tribe. Those who are aware of the states of America, you'll know there is a place called Seattle. So this man's personality was such that he has a name. He has the name of a city bears his name, Seattle. So let's get to work. Let's see what Chief Seattle has to tell. So in the first paragraph, he talks that about the difficult times that are coming, the difficult times that they are to face. So he says today everything is pleasant. And he talks about the sky. This, if you read this very nicely, you'll realize how attached these people are to nature. They are very fond of the land. They are fond of the skies, the valleys, the mountains, the rivers, and everything is as if an integral part of their living. So he says that sky had once been compassionate, sympathetic towards us. But now, he says it might not be for long. So he says it might change. Today it seems it's okay, everything is fine. But tomorrow it may be overcast with clouds. What does clouds symbolize? Bad times, hard times, tough times. Clouds symbolize bad weather. So bad times may come. We might not be as we are now. And why does he say it? Because he says that a proposal has been sent, so he doesn't know what could be the outcome. At the same time, he says that he is very dependable person. His words don't change. He compares himself to the stars, that his words to the stars that never change. In this context, I am reminded of Julius Caesar, where he had said, Shakespeare's tragedy, Julius Caesar, he had said, I'm like the northern star, the pole star. So they are dependable, they are not wavery. They are stable people. So he assures them that my words don't change. So as the seasons come, day changes into night and then again day comes. These are all routine, they are regular and there is no change in them. It will go on and on. It has been going on for millions of years. In the same way, his words are also dependable. You can depend upon it. And he says that he's thankful because of the greetings and the message of goodwill which has been sent to him and his people by the big chief in Washington, because he says it's so kind of them. They don't need our friendship. Why? Because they are more in number. And how does he compare this? He says that they are like the prairies. You must have read in your geography that prairies are the grasslands. So he says they are like the prairies, that means the grasses filling the lands, to show that they are countless. And how does he compare his own people? They are like the scattered trees lying after a storm, in a storm-swept plain. That means after a storm has gone, the trees lie uprooted on the plains. And very few trees maybe are remaining or standing on their feet. So we are like that. So it is a time of decline for the Red Indian people. So he says it was not always so. There was a time when they were also equally numerous. But you must have this idea that everything, there is a birth, then it goes on, reaches maturity, and after that there is a period of decline. Whatever is born, a time comes when it has to become extinct. See the phases of the moon. The new moon, there is nothing. Then stepwise the moon starts growing. Then it reaches the full moon or the climax. And after that it's a period of waning. So for the Red Indians, at one time they were numerous in number, but now it's a time for their decline and they are only a handful. And then he talks about the youth, the young people. Young people, they are rash, impulsive, headstrong. They don't understand much. They paint their faces black. Why? According to Seattle, it's because their hearts are also dark. He doesn't appreciate this uncalled for violence. What's the use of violence? Suppose you are just 5 and they are 500 and you go and attack them, and in the process you may die also, but you think I have taken revenge. That is foolhardy, that is foolishness. And they are so impulsive and headstrong that they are not under the control of their parents or their elders. But what happens when they go and give up their lives? They die in these stupid fights which they think is bravery. So what happens? Who suffers really? The people who are at home, their parents. With utmost care they have brought them up. And now when they are old, they need their support, they are gone. So he doesn't appreciate this foolishness. And what else? He says that the good chief at Washington, that refers to George Washington, he has also sent an assurance that if Chief Seattle is to accept their proposal, does accept their proposal, then they will be protected from their enemies. He gives them word that we will protect you from your enemies. Our armies will be there to help you in your times of need. So who are their enemies? The other tribes, the Haidas, the Shimshians and all that. They come, they plunder, they loot, they kill their babies, maybe take away their women and all that. So they are maybe in a state of fear, living in a state of fear from their enemies. So the big chief has assured them, you don't need to be afraid. I will be there, my army will be there to protect you. This is a very common thing. See what they did in India also. They came here, they helped one king against the another. I will give you my army. I will give you support. You can go and fight. And these are Indian rulers. They fell into the trap. They fought against each other, became weak, and then ultimately what happened? The Britishers took control over the whole country. This is what they are doing here also. This hand of friendship. It is not really a hand of friendship. It is a way to buy these people, telling we will protect you from your enemies. That means in this way slowly they are taking full control over them. And then he talks about the God. He says that their God and our God can't be the same. The God of the white people and our God cannot be the same. Why? He gives a reason. Because they are prospering day by day and we are fading. We are on the verge of decline, on the verge of becoming extinct. So, how can the God be the same? And he says that our God, the Great Spirit, has forsaken us, abandoned us, has left us to ourselves. We have as if become orphans. And their God, like a father holds the son, God is holding them and guiding them. So here we find a state of dejection, disappointment. He feels, I can see a sense of feeling of pessimism in him. And he also says that if the God is the same, he must be partial to his white-faced children. And we, his red-faced children,